Over about an 18-month period, I did the training and then assessment for the Lowland Leader Award. And today I want to talk about how you go through the Lowland Leader training and assessment, why I think it's such a valuable award and overlooked in the Irish outdoors. So, some of the training prerequisites. I have my notes laid out here. So, you need to be over 17 years old. You need to have registered with your mountaineering body or whoever it is that oversees these kinds of outdoor leadership awards. In Ireland, it is Mountaineering Ireland. Surprise, surprise. And finally, you need to have completed a personal navigation course. So for a long time, this was almost exclusively a mountain skills course, so mountain skills 1 or 2. There is now also the Hills Skills Day, and a Hills Skills Day is enough of a personal training course to qualify. I had both of my mountain skills courses done before I did any of my Lowland Leader training, and I found that really useful, and I'll get into that in a little bit. Your consolidation and assessment requirements. So they typically expect a minimum of 6 months between you doing your training and going for assessment, and that's to give you time to get all of your walks done in the varied lowland terrain. There are a couple of exceptions to this that I will also get into in a little bit, but that's the expected minimum. There is no maximum time for you to do this award. You can take as many years as you need, because a lot of people do these outdoor qualifications in their spare time. They can't really expect you to be able to go off and hike every day and get your 20 Lowland Leader related hikes within a month. Similar to your mountain skills or your mountain leader, there is a minimum number of quality days outside. So in this case, quality lowland days. You just do 20 quality lowland days out. So this is on as a wide variety of lowland terrain as you can find, coastal walks, forest hikes, like low mountain loops, anything that falls within the trails, the tracks and trails that are considered lowland walking. And finally, before your assessment is given a pass, you need to have completed a 2-day first aid course that has some element of assessment at the end. Now, it doesn't stipulate that it has to be a Rec 3 course. It can be any 2-day first aid course. Rec 3 stands for Remote Emergency Care, Level 3, and this is the one that the majority of people who are doing these outdoor leading awards will go for, because it teaches you about first aid in an outdoor context, which I did find really, really useful. And seeing as I have done other programs like the Mountain Skills and I'm now doing my Mountain Leader, I am glad that I chose to do a Rec 3, and I will continue in the Remote Emergency Care first aid training. Once you've completed your consolidation, you go for your 2-day assessment. And so for these 2 days, you're out with other people, other assessees, trainees looking to pass their assessment. And it is very similar in my mind to how I found the mountain skills assessment to be. So I guess here's where I'll go into a little bit of context of my own outdoor progression so far. So I had done my mountain skills 1 and 2 before I did my Lowland Leader Award. And so let's say I did my Mountain Skills 2 course, let's say around February, March 2023. Can't remember exactly. Early spring, winter 2023. I did my Lowland Leader training in the very start of May 2023. And I actually got to do this training through the Hike Life, and they have a Women in the Great Outdoors initiative to get more women into leadership roles. And so I got to do my training course for free, which was a really, really cool, like wonderful experience. I feel really, really lucky to have got to do this. And so because myself and the other women on this course all had our kind of personal navigation skills pretty well defined, we were able to spend the 2 days really focused on the soft skills that goes into bringing people outdoors, managing groups, setting expectations, understanding people around you. And this, I think, is crucial to all of the different outdoor qualifications. Lowland leader, mountain leader, no matter what you're doing, you're communicating with people. You're making sure that they are having the experience that they're looking for outside. And so what I think the real power and strength of the Lowland Leader Award is that you're learning and really focusing in on these skills. You're learning about your flora and your fauna, your folklore, your just stories and little bits of information about different areas that you can pass on to people to hopefully make their outdoor experience more meaningful. Not everyone's going to want to know about the daisies or the hawthorns or whatever, but a lot of people do, and it kind of brings life to walks. Not everything has to be super kind of nature specific. You might have a group that are really interested in World War II history, and there are plane crashes and plenty of connections that Ireland has to that as well. So there's a lot in the Irish landscape that no matter what group you have, you're going to be able to draw out and kind of engage them in different ways. So this is what both the training and the assessment really, really focused in on, developing and showcasing these skills. And for me, the intensity of the assessment felt similar to my mountain skills assessment. So the navigation is fairly simple, but it's 2 days long, same length of time, and you're kind of given an opportunity to lead a leg, tell people what you know about the area on that leg, what little tidbits you can share, making sure that you're managing your group well. In my assessment, the assessor did get other trainees to, I guess, be the mischievous or difficult or annoying customer of the day. So if somebody was leading the group up a hill and they're going to be taking a right-hand turn in a short while, he might hang back and ask somebody, oh, when everyone's turning right, I need you to wander off left, and be really, really adamant that you just want to see what that stone is over there or something, and kind of put our people management skills to the test, which was tricky to be as brazen as I think he wanted us to be like, no, I don't want to go that way. I don't want to go that way. I think over here is better. It's hard to kind of keep that up and truly be mean, not be mean, but to the people who are trying to kind of showcase that they have the skills to lead a group. So for your Lowland leader, you have a pass, fail, defer, or I think it's like not yet completed, something like that, box. So you can pass. The not yet completed, I actually got on my mountain skills assessment because I hadn't done my Rec 3 first aid course yet. So once I submitted that form, I then got my pass. For a reassessment, they typically expect you to not go for a reassessment until 3 months have passed, to prove that you have spent the adequate time relearning or developing whatever it was that you were lacking in your original assessment. You can do 2 kind of shorter reassessments before you would need to go for a full retest of it all again. And you have 5 years to do your reassessment. So again, quite a lot of leeway for you to develop the skills at your pace and get that reassessment in. And so a little while ago I kind of alluded to there being 1 or 2 exceptions. I know quite a few people who have been on the ML pathway and realise that they don't need the full Mountain Leader Award to do whatever it is that they're looking to do in the outdoors. And so they didn't need to do the Lowland Leader training to go for a Lowland Leader assessment. If you've one exception that I know exists is that if you have done your ML training and you want to go for your Lowland Leader assessment, you don't necessarily have to do your Lowland Leader training. I know of a couple of people who were working their way through the ML pathway and realised that actually for the activities that they want to do, they only need the Lowland Leader. or they would like a qualification now, and so they did their Lowland Leader assessment. So if you have been doing your Mountain Leader and want to do an assessment to have an accreditation, or don't think you actually need the full remit of the Mountain Leader, you can do your Lowland Leader training, or your assessment, without doing the training. Do I think there is a benefit to doing the training if you've already done your Mountain Leader training? I don't know. It might be useful to know the remit that you're expected to have ahead of the assessment. A lot of the soft skills are the exact same, but you don't have nearly the same breadth of navigational or technical. So there might be benefit, but not necessarily, no. So what does all this get you? So definition off of Mountaineering Ireland says that the Lowland Leader qualification has been designed for people who wish to lead groups on day hikes in lowland countryside and woodlands in summer conditions. They then follow on to say something along the lines of, across Ireland and the UK, this is the majority of outdoor spaces. So I think if you took that language at face value, you might feel like you're quite restricted. But even the phrase in summer conditions. So summer conditions does not mean a lovely sunny day, 15 degrees and a cloud in the sky. Summer conditions is basically anything that's not defined as winter conditions for mountaineering. So winter conditions can be defined as the time when snow and ice prevail and travel requires the skills and equipment to cope with the special hazards of winter conditions. So summer conditions is basically anything else. Neither term can really be defined as a portion of the year. If you go mountaineering high enough, you may be encountering winter conditions well into the summer months. If you are in Ireland, you are probably experiencing summer conditions all year round. So that language in itself, the award isn't restricted just to, May through to September. It's an all year round award. As for more of it, kind of to lead walks in lowland countryside and woodland, the language is grey, and it's kind of purposefully grey because, the path to Everest Base Camp is a well-defined trail that you can see on the ground and brings you to how many thousand meters above sea level? It's really hard to restrict things because there's always going to be areas that don't meet that specific definition. So the language is quite grey. There is no upper limit for elevation for a lowland walk, as long as you are following a mapped trail. It leaves a lot to the individual to assess whether or not a route that they have, that they're thinking of bringing a group out on, is within the Lowland Leader remit, which I think is great because there's so much in Ireland that does fall within the remit. It just takes a bit of, experience, which I'm still collecting, to decide where you want to bring groups, what is the suitable places for them, and that suits their skill level as well. A couple of my other kind of, personal reflections on this is that I feel like for quite a while there was a bit of, I'm going to call it mountain leader fever, where if you were passionate about the outdoors, everyone asked, when are you going to do your mountain leader? And once you've done your mountain skills, that is the highest kind of level award that you can jump in at. But your mountain leader is a really big commitment. It's a really in-depth award that I don't even know if I'm halfway through, really. Probably not. It's a lot of work, and I've seen people around me get quite burnt out in the process. And I think that the Lowland Leader or the Hill and Moorland, which I actually don't have any experience with, get overlooked in favour of going straight from Mountain Leader. Because Mountain Leader does cover you for, I think, like everywhere in Ireland that you would want to be bringing groups of people walking. So I understand why that is the goal. But something else that I have kind of written down is that if you're not 100% sure that guiding people in the outdoors is actually something that you want as a career, if you love being outside and the outdoors is a great passion for you, I think doing the Lowland Leader, because it's a lot shorter of a because it's a lot more accessible as a pathway, and bringing groups out and seeing if you actually enjoy leading groups and doing this as a job can be really valuable. It'll help you decide how quickly it is that you want to try and push through the Mountain Leader program. You might realise, actually, I want to get my Mountain Leader, but only for me to personally have. So there is no rush in me finishing this award. Or on the flip side, you're like, oh, I actually love this. I really, really love this. I am going to work really hard to get my Mountain Leader done in the next year or whatever. I think it really adds a lot of value in that capacity, because in your Lowland Leader, you're learning, I think, you want to develop the same level of soft skills as you have in your Mountain Leader. You want to have the people management, you want to have the flora, fauna and folklore. You want to have all of those, like, I worry that the word soft skill undervalues them, developed, and I think that that's a really important part of your Mountain Leader journey as well. A lot of the focus for your ML in your training and it towards your assessment is on the technical aspect, because you want to get as much right as you can. I think it's really important to hone and develop those skills of like micronav at night, of your rope skills, your emergency rope work. A lot of focus is put into nailing those skills, and then hopefully after you've passed, 90% of your work, if you're doing everything right and you just don't have an unlucky day, is going to be the soft skills. It's going to be the people management and the, having the chats, keeping people smiling and laughing, finding their interest and kind of making their outdoor experience the best it can be, which is something that you, I think, learn a lot about in the Lowland Leader capacity. A couple of places that I think have incredible walks that are within the Lowland Leader remit include like the Sheep's Head. That peninsula, it's in the very southwestern Cork, kind of has a spine all along it, and that's a trail, and it is beautiful. The same for Beara on the Cork-Kerry border. The same for the Schlie Gaeltacht Muscree goes through it. Gugan Barra. Like, there's some incredible areas in Ireland that have awe-inspiring trails that really feel wild, if that's what you're looking for route-wise to bring people out on. I am personally not too worried about not being able to find an adventurous enough trail within the Lowland Leader to bring walkers on. I think there is so much to do. So let me actually just also reflect on some of the questions that I was asked. What work can you do with the award? In my opinion, quite a lot. So I have some work with a few different walking festivals where I am a hike leader. And so for one festival, the walk that I was doing was one of the harder walks of the week, because a lot of their walks were around history, culture, food, and so then my walk was kind of more in the hills, a bit more exertion than a lot of the other walks. Another walk that I'm leading later in October is the beginner walk. So we're doing a loop in the Mayo Mountains, and that's the beginner walk. So in that very kind of straight up way, I am getting hired to be parts of walking festivals. I feel like there's also quite a wide space in that if you have a different outdoor qualification, like, I don't know, forest bathing. For me, it's leave no trace. So I am qualified to teach leave no trace at a couple of different levels. And if I want to run those courses myself, I need insurance. And so doing my Lowland Leader Award was the easiest way for me to get insurance that I knew of. And so now I have insurance that covers me for the kinds of places that I want to be bringing people on a leave no trace related course, which is great. And I feel like for other people as well who do similar kinds of things in the outdoors, the Lowland Leader Award might be a really useful way to open up different avenues of insurance and all that kind of like technical admin that isn't quite so sexy to talk about. But that was my original big motivation to do the Lowland Leader Award personally. What are the benefits over ML? The way shorter timeline, the fact that it was about 18 months for me, but that wasn't me prioritizing the Lowland Leader Award at all. Much shorter time frame to get a qualification, and the things that you learn for this carry over to doing your ML. The cons are you don't have as wide a remit to bring people. How does it differ from Mountain Skills and Mountain Leader? Yeah, kind of covered that. Mountain Skills, this is like all the kind of group management, and then from Mountain Leader, it's all the same kind of group management, but then none of the like higher technical, so rope work and micronav. How precise does your logbook need to be? I think this goes for all qualifications that you're working towards. I made sure that I had, so Lowland Leader's 20 walks. I made sure I had the 20 walks that ticked all the boxes nailed. But then I always try to remember to include the days where I really practiced a skill, but it didn't actually count towards a quality day out. So I might have brought a group out for an hour-long nature trail piece. So it shows the group management, but it wasn't a Lowland Leader quality day. So I think put everything that you have in. Put absolutely everything in, and your assessor will be able, like, they will have a better understanding than I do, or you do, or whatever. And they will be able to see the work that you've done. So even if you accidentally mislabel one or two things, they will be able to, through reading your descriptions, see where you are and see the work you've done. At least that's what I was told, and that's my philosophy towards it. Yeah, I think that's everything. I hope you found that helpful. I hope you found that interesting. Thank you so much to everybody who supports Tough Souls on Patreon and lets me keep making videos about the Irish outdoors, even on days where we're not outdoors. Yeah, I really appreciate it. I am almost over the flu. I know you're going to be just as excited as I am once I get to go out on trails again. But yeah, I will leave it there for now. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye. Yay. Yeah? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Great. Well, I think the last one I had a jumper on, which did, ground my hair in a way. I can feel the weight of the mic basically a lot more this time. Oh my god, someone must really be talking about me.